Hello, in this video we'll go through the worst and the best kinds of food for your brain. A lot of people ask me, hey, what should I actually eat to become more intelligent, to study better, to add to my diet unnecessary supplements which will make me smarter? So here I go with this video and I will give you an exact answer what you should eat to use your brain at its peak potential. Firstly, we have granate, and it's definitely an A tier. Why it is like this? Because in general, all kind of foods, all kind of fruits, veggies, which are rich in color, like for example, very red, very blue, very green, are generally also rich in antioxidants. Of course, also there are a lot of vitamins, polyphenols, but the most important point here is that this kind of colorings have antioxidation and brain protecting effect. So for example, it's proven that there's a direct correlation between a danger of diseases like Alzheimer, dementia in an old age and not eating enough of these kinds of products. So if you want your brain to not only in an old age stay healthy, but also right now, in this very moment, make you able to study more, remember more, to just use your brain at its peak potential and don't have already some damages, you should consume a lot of fruits and veggies which are rich in color. And the same is, for example, with tomatoes. Also, their main effect is their antioxidation prosperous. So I can also give it to an A tier. And the same is also with a spinach. It's also very rich in antioxidants. Of course, it also has a lot of micro and macronutrients like elements which your brain needs, like magnesium, zinc. So definitely also an A tier. You should have every day in your diet something which is rich in color, because this product also for 99.99% will be rich in antioxidants which can cure and prevent damages of the brain caused by active forms of oxygen and stuff like this. So also I can give a spinach to an A tier. And then we have a chocolate, because for a few different reasons it works like a natural nootropic. The first thing is that it's, of course, again, like previous things, rich in antioxidants. But the second thing, that is also super rich in magnesium, which we absolutely need for sleeping, for memory processes and studying. So it's the next thing. The third thing is that it actually can create a new stem cells, which can be also really, really useful in our brain to create new neurons and just have more neurons in our brain, which is, of course, a good thing. And the last thing which I want to mention here is that it has an ability to widen blood vessels and make more blood to come to a brain, which of course has oxygen, and we just give more oxygen to your brain and make you able to process information, think, study faster. So I can already give it to an S tier because it's super useful, and I think every week you should eat some dark chocolate. So definitely S tier. Then we have a turmeric, and turmeric actually has so strong antioxidants. There are a lot of studies which prove that on animals it can prevent dementia and Alzheimer many years in the back. So absolutely something which you should include in your diet. I personally recommend to use it as add to some dishes. Like for example, I drink it with my tea. I just put turmeric and imbibe to a tea and I drink it like it tastes really normal. And one very important thing, always add a pepper to a turmeric, because only with pepper you have high tolerance to a good substances which are definitely in turmeric. I think I can give it to an S tier. And then we have an egg. And egg is kind of like a little bit like a natural nootropic, because imagine it's something which should support life for the first few months. It's something which should have all needed supplements, all needed vitamins, proteins, fats for a life we just started to develop. So it's definitely something which has everything what the life needs. So for example, let's take into choline. Choline is an amazing thing which led our body to produce acetylcholine, which is a main neurotransmitter responsible for thinking, memorizing, analyzing data. Without an enough number of acetylcholine, enough amount, we get a brain fog. We are not able to focus properly. So it's definitely something which we should have in our diet. And the problem is that there is almost none products which contains a lot of choline, despite an egg. Just 3 eggs can give enough amount of choline per day for a healthy young adult man. So I would definitely give it to an S tier, and moreover, it contains a lot of vitamin from a group B, which are super, super important in terms of keeping healthy neuronal systems. So it's the next thing. And the third thing is that it contains a lot of healthy fats. And remember, 60% of our brain are actually fats. So if you don't consume eggs, if you don't consume foods which are rich in fats, what the hell are you even doing? So yeah, definitely S tier. Then we have blueberries. And it's again a thing which is super rich in antioxidants. And yeah, I tell a lot in this video about antioxidants, but that's for a reason. That's for a reason that we really need them a lot in our diet. Our brain constantly gets new portions of oxygen, which is of course necessary for its functioning, but together with an oxygen and together with all these metabolic processes in our brain come reactive forms of oxygen, which really can do a lot of damages, cause Alzheimer dementia, all these unpleasant illnesses in an old age. Antioxidants are absolute basic of your diet, and that's why I put the next one, strong antioxidant, to an A tier. You should definitely consume some blueberries. I personally love to collect them in the summer, in the autumn. We have still some of them in mountains, so yes, I'm collecting them by my own and then eating, and it's the way how I get for free super, super good antioxidants. A tier. The next what we have here is a liver. And liver is like every product which we need to actually create new parts of our brain. Because when you think about it more, it contains everything what we need to build our neuronal system. A lot of vitamins from a group B, a lot of proteins, a lot of healthy omega-3 acids like DHA and others. Also some iron, micro and macronutrients, elements. It's something like a whole bunch of products which the factory, which is called our body, needs to produce new things in our brain. So I can definitely also give it to an A tier. Then we have oysters. And oysters, they are very interesting for one reason. They contain the most zinc from all products which we can possibly eat. Actually, 90% of zinc, over 90% when it's coming to be exact, are needed just in our brain. If we don't provide enough zinc, we lose a lot from our concentration, learning skills, and stuff like this. And the richest in zinc are actually oysters. And they are really not as expensive as you might expect, because the one portion of them is usually cheaper than McDonald's. And if you don't eat them every day, just like once a week, you can really afford them. So I give it to an B tier, because despite zinc, yeah, of course, it contains a lot of good things, but I put it here especially because of the zinc, which is super important for our neuronal system. Then we have fat fishes, like for example a salmon. And they are absolutely super important because our brain needs a DHA to create a protection to our neuronal cells. I won't come into details, biochemistry, neuroscience, but we need a lot of DHA fat to create a protection to cells of our brain. And the main source of DHA are fat fishes, which contains so much of that. Because omega-3 acids contains a lot of smaller things which actually create this whole big thing which you all know for the name omega-3 acids. And one of them is DHA. And actually, fat fishes are one of the best source of that. And from other products, it's really hard for our body to create a lot of DHA fat. So you should put already the ready DHA fat to your body. So it's in fat fishes, so I definitely can give it to an S tier, super important thing. And olive oil, it also has a lot of omega-3 acids, which our body needs. However, it's not so rich in DHA anymore. And it has also some anti-inflammatory effects, can fight with free dangerous forms of oxygen. Yes, it's important for the body, it's important for the functions of the body, but it's not so crucial for the brain. I mean, yeah, it's good to consume that. It's definitely something good for you. But when it's coming strictly to the brain, I can give it maximum to a B tier. I consume it still every day, but it's from different reasons. I can record maybe someday another video about different parts of the body which we also need to keep healthy. But for the brain, I can give it to a B tier. And then we already have a lot of unhealthy stuffs which I gave to the end. And the first thing would be a McDonald's meal, which is a Big Mac. By I generally mean all burgers, all stuffs like this, wraps, shit like this in general. And it's an A tier because it's not something the worst. It still contains some protein, some even a little bit healthy fats, some veggies, but come on, we all know how it works. I would say you one research which was made on rats, and there they gave a traditional Western diet which was full of this kind of stuff like burgers, wraps, chicken fried in deep oil, stuff like this to a rat, and another rat got just a normal diet of a healthy rat in the natural environment. And it appeared after few weeks of this diet, the rat which was eating classic Western diet had big problems to find an island on a flooded cage where scientists put him. He couldn't find this. It was in the middle, it was so visible, but his brain was at this stage that he couldn't even find this small obvious thing in his cage. So it's really something which caused a lot of damage in the brain. And also there are some researches on humans that after a few weeks of a Western diet, we already have a lack of cognitive abilities, of abilities to learn something, memorize with the precision. So it's definitely something not good for you. And because of a lot of these unhealthy fats and incredible amounts of sugar which are there and which you don't even feel, I give it to an E tier. And then we have alcohol. And alcohol, I can give it only here, only to a sorry F tier. Why to an F tier? Because it's an absolute damage maker to your brain. It makes your neurons like a zombie for a few hours, and then after you get already sober, you pay a huge price for fucking alcohol. I personally right now don't drink at all, and I feel greater than ever. I also convince a lot of my friends to not drink alcohol at all. Yeah, some glass of wine once in few months won't make you a damage, but don't make it a habit. Don't be like, huh, that's just once a month, that's nothing. Even once a month matter. And I'm really scared how much alcohol can people drink in their week, in their year. It's coming for the whole liters. It is a reason of depression, many mental health problems. It's the reason why you don't have this ability to focus anymore, to study at your peak potential. So I don't see literally any benefits from drinking alcohol. And then we have all kind of sweets, and it's again a E tier because it's a whole bunch of firstly unhealthy fats and unhealthy sugar packed all together in one simple thing, which is chocolate bar from a shop. It's making you, again, it's like a burger, but it's even more obvious. It has so much sugar, so much unhealthy fats, and it's just a typical example of Western diet, which in long term will make you just a stupid bitch. So I don't recommend it at all. Then we have sugar, and sugar is actually something which I can give to a D tier. Why it is like this? Why sugar to a D tier? Because it depends how you consume a sugar. Because when you eat a lot of fruits, for example, like granate, blueberries, yes, of course, they contain sugar, but they also contain a lot of fiber, which makes the sugar to be digested really, really slowly, and through it come to your blood slowly and also slowly come to your brain. And it's a good thing for us because despite of the sugar, which is also necessary for us, we need glucose to make our brain function properly, to be good at sports also. So we need that definitely. It's not something dangerous, but when you get a huge shot, like you can imagine like a drinking water. Yeah, of course you need 4 liters of water to in one day if you're an active person. But if you drink them at once, it's gonna be dangerous for you. You're gonna vomit, and you will completely change the pH of your blood to a levels which will make you unhealthy. So the same is with sugar. If you consume it with fruits, which contains also fiber and which lets it to be digested slowly, it's something good. But if you consume it with sweets, which just instantly go to your blood vessels, eliminate that, please. Then we have nuts, and nuts are known for its abilities to keep your brain healthy, and it also works like this, but I can give it to an B tier maximum because they are not so rich in, for example, DHA, fats, and also, yeah, they contain omega-3 acids, but it's not the amount which will have a massive impact to your life. and really change something. But definitely they contain a lot of elements like magnesium and zinc, which also your brain really needs, but still they are poorer in that than, for example, chocolate. I still eat a lot of nuts because they contain a lot of healthy calories. They are rich in calories, but they are also very healthy. So I consume it for different reasons, but yes, a bit here. Then we have a Coca-Cola. Together with an alcohol and F tier, you consume so much sugar, which is damaging your brain, and you don't even realize that. You don't realize how much sugar it has, and it has also extra stuffs which do even a bigger damage for your body, like phosphorus acid and stuff like this, which has also an influence to your brain, but mostly because of the sugar, which you don't know that you are drinking an F tier. Then we have a T. You actually have this ability to make you calmer, to boost number of alpha waves with your brain, which makes you calm and make you think rationally. So with this property and a light effect of caffeine, because it also has a healthier, let's say healthier form of caffeine, if you don't drink big amounts of coffee and stuff like this, I can also give it to an B tier. You can find my ebook about improving brain abilities in the description. Thank you for watching. See you. Ciao, ciao.